How's it going, guys? John at Shooter's Connection here to talk with you about thumb rests. So there are more and more divisions in practical shooting that allow thumb rests, and for a lot of people, they make a lot of sense. This is an example from Atlas Gunworks. Got some great swoopage there as it goes up for along the frame and slide. We also have one from Emch here, a little bit more traditional design. And of course, you have a frame mount option, gigantic thumbs up hitchhiker thumb from Tevo Sports for a frame mount. We don't have a frame mount on this pistol today, but I can show you these other two and kind of talk about what thumb rests do for the competitor and why you might want to consider adding one to your pistol. So this is a 2011 style pistol, and these thumb rests are meant to replace the slide stop on them. So it's a pretty drop-in replacement. As always, with anything 1911, 2011, fitting may be required. So I'm going to lock this slide back. I'm going to show clear first. We are clear, hammer down. And I'm going to use a toolless guide rod here, Dawson toolless. I'm going to lock that open. We're going to push out our slide stop. And now we can slot a new one in. Let's start with the Emch. So this has a steel pin built in, it's standard slide lock. It is worth noting that for both of these and the vast majority of slide lock thumb rests on the market, these will deactivate your last round slide hold open. So in games like USPSA, that's not a big concern because you have, a lot of rounds, and you want to maximize your round count so you don't have that active in the first place, but just something to be aware of. So once again, we are clear here. And with a thumb rest replacing the slide stop, for the majority of shooters, it ends up looking something like this. You can see where the slide stop is. So depending on the design and how you hold the gun, like if you're further back here, more compressed, myself, I index off of the bottom here with my left index finger, boom, and I rotate in, and I end up with my thumb resting below that last joint there on the thumb rest. So there are two things that this can do for you. Number one is it gives you a level, efficient, consistent reference point. So I have an index point. I'm on my grip. I'm on my grip. I'm on my grip. There's no concern or confusion about where my left hand is on the gun. I'm filling the grip as much as possible, and I have a consistent reference point. That's number one. Number two is a little bit of recoil control. So the more points of contact you have on the gun, the more leverage you're going to have to fight back against that recoil. But some people don't use the thumb rest for recoil as much. They use it more for index or vice versa. But those are the two main things. We can see this Emch fits just fine. Let's go ahead and throw the Atlas in and see how that looks. So I can't use this as a slide stop, or it's much more difficult to do so, but I can just hold it back with my hand, activate that toolless guide rod, make sure it's locked, and now I can remove it pretty easily. Let's throw the Atlas in here. Make sure we're in that link. And just like that, we have a different slide stop thumb rest installed. So looking at this for the way I grip the gun, it fits a little bit better. We've got some more surface area. More of my thumb up here in the front is in contact. And, that might be a better option for me, depending on my grip and the way I shoot. But don't take that to mean that, there's a one size fits all. Everyone's going to love one versus the other. This is, there is a lot of personal preference here. Unfortunately, these are mostly for only for right-handed shooters. Mounting the left side of the gun. If you're wanting a right hand, you're strictly looking at a frame mount like a Tevo. This is a right-hand Tevo, but you would get a left-hand shooter version to mount on some drilled and tapped holes there on the opposite side. So once again, thumb rests are a valuable option. Race holsters are encouraged, although you can find Kydex manufacturers or regular holsters that accommodate thumb rests. Make sure you check compliance before you make an assumption there that it's going to work in a Kydex holster you might have already. But other than that, this is a usually drop-in-ish replacement for your slide stop that can add another feature to your gun and help make it a little more enjoyable, consistent on the range. So check us out, shootersconnection.com. We stock all three of these thumb rests, as well as some others not shown in this video. Once again, consult with a competent gunsmith before assuming parts you throw in there are going to work, and hope to see you guys on the range.